Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today with Stamping with Loretta. I'm glad you stopped by. Today is Rcad, our Rolodex card a day, number 8. Today is also a very personal Rolodex card, as I have decided to use a picture that was taken about 2 years ago, I guess now, of my husband and I at a wedding reception of a dear friend, and so I'd like to make something in his honor and in honor of our life together and our marriage. Like I've told you in the past, I am so thankful for him. He's a wonderful man, a man that loves the Lord with all of his heart, which makes him a great leader and a great husband and a great father, and I couldn't ask for any more. And I'm very thankful for that, and I just praise the Lord every day for His goodness to us both. And with that being said, let's get started on today's Rcad. And I'm going to resituate the camera, and we'll get started. Thanks for joining me. Alright, to prepare my Rolodex card, I used a little bit of Liquid Text Matte Medium. This is a clear medium to attach anything to anywhere as far as paper is concerned. It's not really a glue as much as it is kind of like a glaze, but it will get stuff down for you, and it will also help with any other layers that you may want to put on top. I have taken out some of my ceramic stucco, and I'm going to get some paint, and I'll be back. Alright, I'm going to take my texture paste, which is right off your screen there, and I am going to just add a couple of drops of a re-inker to the paste. I'm going to move my card out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I turn it where I can see it. Now, the stucco, ceramic stucco, is very much like the stucco you would use on your walls. It is very thick. It is also very gritty, but it's a lot of fun to play with. Now, mine started to get a little gooped up, so all I did was I took it to my sink in the bathroom, and I just added a few drops of water to it, stirred it up really good, and just let it sit. And as you can see, it's extremely workable again, and it's really a lot of fun to play with. And this is about the color I want. It's a light pink, as you can plainly see, on a very dirty acrylic block. So I'm going to bring our Rcad back into the picture, move it a little bit down over. There we go. I have also added another light to my desk to make viewing my videos a little easier, and hopefully this is also going to kind of help solve the problem that I've had with shadows. It's not going to completely eliminate it because this is a very stark light. It's actually one of two that I have that I usually use when I'm shooting still pictures for things that I am submitting for publication. I do enjoy sending stuff in for possible publication, and one of these days I hope that I can do a video that just shows the process of creating a project or even a card, so that I can show you how I do it, so that maybe you can get encouraged and submit something to your favorite craft magazine. Most of my art has been published in Scrap and Stamp Arts magazine and Just Cards. Both of those publications are made by Scott Publications, and they're very popular trade magazines, and I just have to admit that it's just plain fun. So as you can see, I'm just going around the edge of my picture here with the stucco to apply it to my card, just like that. It's not very difficult. I'm going to do a little bit of die cutting and let this dry for a few minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, I have actually not done my die cutting yet, and my Rcad is over to one side. You can't see it right now. Starting to dry for me, and I'm going to grab a StazOn ink pad in royal purple. I have a piece of Shrinky Dink brand plastic on my desk. That's what this little shiny piece is. I've grabbed a stamp from my collection, and I'm going to stamp it, and then I'm going to read it to you because it's very true, especially when it comes to love, romance, and marriage. There is no such thing as happily ever after. I really feel like that the Lord gives us conflicts so that we can learn, so we can love each other greater and love Him greater. And so anyway, that being said, I'm going to stamp this sentiment onto my shrink plastic using that purple ink, and it says, "You make me happy in ways I've never imagined possible. You bring the promise of love for every tomorrow. You're my one, you're my only, you're my everything." And so I am going to cut this out with a pair of scissors, and I'm going to shrink it, and we'll be right back. Alright, before I go on to my next step with my Rolodex card, what I want to do is show you that I die cut some hearts out of shrink plastic. I colored them with different Copic markers. I'm going to shrink them, and then we'll get back to my card. Alright, since my work desk was getting quite cluttered as far as my working mat is concerned, I decided to put a piece of cardstock up underneath my Rolodex card so that you guys can see it a little bit better, and hopefully that's going to work well for us. As you'll recall, that today's Rcad is about a tribute to my husband and our marriage. I am extremely thankful for him and grateful. And I'm going to show you this because it's interesting. My Shrinky Dink has, it may not be showing up there, but it is actually backwards. So I'm going to restamp it and shrink it again. Alright, I stamped and re-shrank my sentiment, and I'm going to place it over here towards the left hand side of my Rolodex card. I used E6000 glue to attach this. As you can see, some of it's oozing out of the bottom. I'm not worried about that because it will add texture to my piece. And I am going to grab a marker so that I can just put on here our names. And today's date, which is the 15th, I believe. And today is Rcad number 8. Today's the 14th, excuse me. Alright, I'm going to add some more detail to my card, and we'll continue filming. Alright, as you can see, I have placed the hearts kind of randomly over my Rcad and over my image. Now I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen and I'm going to go over the entire thing that you see with this, since it is pretty much a clear glitter. It's not really glitter in the sense of that it's going to get all over you, but it is glitter in the sense that it adds that little shine and that little bit of extra interest that it probably would not have otherwise. So I'm just going to go over this really quickly, as you see, including all the white areas. And while I'm doing this, I hope that everyone is having a great Monday. I have really enjoyed the last few days of warm weather. However, we're supposed to get freezing weather tomorrow night. It's going down to about 30. And I'm really glad that I hadn't already put some small plants into the ground, even though I am hoping that in the next couple of weeks I can do just that. So as you can see, I've got that done. Now, right off the camera, I have taken some green acrylic paint by the Master's Touch, and it's called Grass Green, and I have mixed it with my stucco, mostly mixed it, so that it's a really great texture. And I'm going to edge this card with this green stucco mixture. To do that, I'm just using actually the end of my paintbrush instead of the brush tip, and I'm going to apply it directly to my card. It's going to kind of gump up a little bit because it's sat underneath my studio lights, which are very hot, and they tend to get stuff to dry quite a bit quicker than they would probably otherwise. And so I'm going to finish this, and we'll continue with our Rcad process in just a couple of minutes. Alright, as you can see, I finished edging my card with my stucco that I had mixed with my green paint, and now I'm going to use my Memento Tangelo ink and my Memento Dandelion ink to add some texture to this card with just a random stamp. I've used this one in the past. It's actually an orphan from a stamp. It might even be a dollar stamp. I'm not really completely sure. At this point, it really doesn't matter. But I am going to just add some more texture and interest by using this stamp. Since the orange is a little bit darker than is the yellow ink, I am going to clean the stamp in between the two stamp pads to keep any transfer of ink at a minimum. If there's one thing I hate, is when I accidentally put a darker color onto a lighter ink pad because you cannot get it off. It's ruined. Or you're just going to use it for something like this. But it doesn't have to be a whole lot of rhyme or reason to this. It's just for a little bit more interest and texture. And it's about what you like and what you enjoy. So Rcads are about experimenting and learning new things. Alright, for my finishing touch, I'm going to take a dark permanent marker. In this case, this is a Sharpie, and I'm going to just outline the sentiment that is on my Rolodex card, so that it brings your eye to both the main focal image as well as this piece, which once again says, "You make me happy in ways I've never imagined possible. You bring the promise of love to every tomorrow. You're my one, my only, my everything." Alright folks, I think that this is just about it. I'm going to add a couple more things. Still pictures will follow. So I hope you will stay tuned for those. Thanks for joining me today with Stamping with Loretta. Remember folks, that the greatest gift that you can give to yourself is to be a man or woman after God's own heart. So I do hope that you will keep that in mind as you continue your day and your week. Remember that love is a precious gift that was given to us, and it was exemplified by Christ giving of himself to die for our sins. If you'd like more information on becoming a Christian, a follower of Jesus, please leave me a comment below, send me a private message or email, and I'll be glad to give you more information. I hope you have a great day. Stay happy. Be a blessing. Talk to you later. Bye.